All right, this week in pro wrestling.
Yeah, what a week. What a great week.
It's a great week. Great week in pro wrestling.
Yeah. Why
What
are my
episode is
ribs
this?
hurt? What? I don't know. Episode 511? I have no idea.
Well, we took a hiatus, but then we did it for WrestleMania. But speaking of WrestleMania,
Yeah.
how
What
did
about
you
it?
enjoy WrestleMania?
Now you want to talk about wrestling. Oh, that's right. We talked about it on last week's show.
We did. Well, we kind of did predictions. I thought,
We-
you know what? I thought we did
kinda-
well, but then I watched it back. We
no,
did really bad.
We got killed, but we weren't
Wait a
doing
minute, you were just about to say we got killed?
We got mited.
Someone wrote me, you
Murderized.
guys were spot on. And I'm like, oh, really? And I listened
You know
again. I'm
what's,
like,
you
no,
know what's
we
even,
weren't.
You know what's even funnier? Alcohol still has amazing powers because when we were watching it together, you're like, we're doing good. Meanwhile, we didn't even remember what we said the day
But wait a
before.
minute. Wait a minute.
That's
I
ridiculous.
think on Saturday we actually did okay, right?
Yeah, I think we did.
Sunday
yeah,
we
Sunday
went
took
0-4.
took a big bath.
Well, we picked Reigns.
we-
No, we kind of did it. We didn't.
No,
know.
we did.
We
We
did.
did. We
All right,
did
so
pick
we
Reigns.
took a 1 for 20 or whatever the hell it was.
For 20.
But now batting 40.
That's like Gene Simmons when he congratulated Peter Criss on bet. He goes, great. What about the other 99 at bats?
Please.
Weird.
It's nothing like guessing fake pro wrestling.
Yeah, I know. It's rough. Yeah, it's somebody
Is
else's.
it really bad for me to use fake?
Yeah, I
pro
think
wrestling? Is
some
it
people.
disrespectful?
I think some people in the business might want to myrtleize you.
I get offended.
I'm not offended.
I'm offended by the
I
word
mean,
fake.
you know, do I wince a little when you say it? Yeah, I do.
Do
the
you?
nerd in me. Yeah. What the hell is that?
Is that your
anyway,
phone?
it could be, but I thought I had it off.
There
Hold
you
on,
go.
wait a minute. Can I be JJ Dillon? Hey, honey, how you doing?
Well prepared.
In the middle of an interview. Wow, what's going on here? Shut up.
Do you
Go
remember
away.
that?
Be
Oh,
quiet.
boy. All
Yeah,
right.
that was fantastic.
All right,
Gold.
man. So episode
Maybe bronze.
match number 1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell me what you thought about the one match that every real true wrestling fan was so upset
I
about.
can't wait to hear this one. Go ahead.
Sami Zayn, Johnny Knoxville.
That was irreversibly, undeniably slapstick gold.
Right.
I, as a Three Stooges fan, loved every second of that match. That match was entertaining as can be.
Right.
That was the best. Did I see a giant mousetrap?
You saw Giant Mouse.
Did I see a bowling ball hit a groin?
Yes, you did.
I did, right?
Yes.
I did. Did I see Wee Man
Yes.
body slam a 6'4" or 5" dude that weighs like maybe 240 or something? Did I see that?
Yeah.
Did I see Johnny Knoxville hit a button and an explosion occurred causing the guy who had already been bowled in the groin to fall on his groin? The guy had gadgets. This is one of the... And what's with the
you
goggles?
upset-
What's with the goggles? Those
Maybe
were
he's got- maybe
fantastic.
he's got bad eyes or something.
Whatever he's got it.
Were you
Johnny
upset that the
Knoxville has
mousetrap
it.
didn't work originally?
You know what I was amazed at? Johnny Knoxville is such a pro that he immediately knew how to unleash that mousetrap anyway. Climbed right to the center of it, which could have gotten him mousetrap too, probably, and nonchalantly, boop, got out of the way, boom.
But honestly, it
what
didn't
a
look
pro!
like that mousetrap was really that strong.
I think Sammy's still stuck in it, isn't he? He's not still stuck in it.
I did really enjoy
That's
that
one of the
match.
greatest things I've ever seen. It was
But the pro wrestling
stupid.
expert was
It was
so
hilarious.
upset
For what?
over that match.
What are you expecting? A clinic? And Knoxville's got him in the abdominal stretch. My God, look at the pain running down Zayn's face. What are we talking here? You had to expect to be entertained on that level. That was amazing.
So if you compare him to McAfee against Austin,
Yeah, McAfee versus Austin. I enjoyed that.
did you enjoy that match?
I thought that was good.
Yeah?
I
Okay.
did, but I was very baffled at the decision. I was not comfortable with Austin Theory losing to Pat McAfee. Oh, this is the hand-picked successor. What is that? Let's not even get into what happened next.
Well, hold
We'll
on.
get to that.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So a match I truly enjoyed, and
Okay.
by the way, Pharaoh was with me on Saturday night, and we pretty much did our show on my couch in front of my
Kind of.
wife and your partner, Bart Griggs,
From
right?
Wisteria Hall.
It was like we couldn't have been on two sides of the
there was
fence.
a-
It was utterly.
But we were having fun,
Oh,
though.
absolutely.
But you know what's
absolutely.
weird, though? We used to be on the same side of the fence when we were younger. What is this, potato,
Well, all right.
potato
Well,
now?
let's start it.
What's
Well,
going
no,
on
let's
here?
start it with you, right? Because
yeah.
Bianca Belair comes out.
Right.
We got the match against
Yeah.
Becky Lynch.
Yeah, and I'm
you
booing
were
Bianca.
trashing
I'm booing
that
Bianca.
match from the minute it
I didn't
walked through
trash
to
it. I
the.
thought it was a really good match. I was just booing Bianca. What is your deal? I can't. I don't
were
like
killing it.
Because I was. I was like, when are you going to use your hair? I can't take Bianca Belair. What are you going to do? Cry if you win? Give
That's
us one of
exactly
those-
what you said. And when she
I'm
started
like, I
crying, you
can't-
go, there she is
She
crying.
makes a Stan Laurel face when she cries. It doesn't work for me. Some badass.
How'd you like Becky's new hair? More importantly.
No, what you mean is how did I like Ziggy's new hair? Because that was David Bowie, like Bart pointed out.
That's pretty
She looked
funny.
like David Bowie. She even had the spaceman makeup.
So if everybody got the feeling at the house, right? So that match came on, and I was
was a great
really
match.
into
That
it.
was a great match.
And Pharaoh was just like,
Because I knew
enough
right.
already. Enough.
Because I knew Bianca was going to win, and I was going to hate it. You already know it's going to happen. You're like, yeah,
You really
Bianca's
do
gonna-
get
look at
upset
you
over
enjoy.
it.
Oh, right. Like if you watched a Reigns match and you knew it was time for Reigns to lose, you'd hate that whole match. Go
But I knew
ahead,
it wasn't
take
time.
me to the bitter end.
But I knew it was the time.
Of course not. Not yet. Nowhere near.
Not yet.
Nowhere near.
Not even close.
Nowhere near. But just remember one thing: thy who sits on a throne can only be removed by wrestling royalty.
Oh, very good. Oh, well, we'll talk about that on the
we
regular
will.
show.
Oh,
but
yeah.
anyway.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's going to be a nightmare for you. Go on.
Something that did not disappoint.
Yeah.
What do you mean a nightmare? Do you mean that stupid ass tattoo that's on his neck?
Wait till you see that.
That is the biggest
Wait
joke
till
in the history
you
of
see,
tattoos.
First of all, Holy Pepsi logo.
No.
Wait till you
we discussed
see.
this. The Pepsi logo is better than the American Nightmare
Wait till you
logo.
see how hot that guy's wife is.
Oh, now
man.
you're a fan of Brandy Rhodes.
What, the greatest diva in the history of the business?
God, what a turncoat. My God.
I'm so full of shit. You know I am the second I start saying that. Go on. Next.
I just can't wait.
So Bianca won. I was miserable, and we move
I just
on
can't
to...
wait till the head of the table takes that dude's head off.
It's gonna
Anyway.
it's gonna be so rough for you.
Something that did not disappoint any
pain.
fan. If anyone was going to bitch about that. Oh, by the way, just real quick, back to the Knoxville Sami Zayn
Yeah,
thing.
what about it?
Everybody's destroyed.
Chris
like, all of
Pontius
it-
with his thong?
There was
amazing.
77,000 fans standing on their feet.
Of course they were.
Loving
They
this.
loved dude, that match was fantastic. Everybody who's against it, then watch what you want to watch. But to say that that was not enjoyable, I feel sorry for you if you can't see the
Could
stupidity
Knoxville Zayn
in this thing. This was
entertain
hilariously dumb.
77,000 fans?
Yeah.
And could Sammy Guevara against Sting
Right.
give the fans that same
Why don't
reaction?
they just ask themselves this question? Sami Zayn, of course, traditionally epitomizes everything they believe wrestling to be.
True.
Sami Zayn had a blast this weekend. He
Loved
got
it.
paid like a king,
Loved
and
it.
he's probably thrilled with it.
Oh, before
Hey,
we
stop
get
already!
to the other match, I wanted to
Yeah,
say
go
Rick
ahead.
Boogs. When he first we thought it was a work, but
It's
it was
not,
real.
He's hurt. That's
He's hurt.
horrible. That's what you get when you try to pick two people up at the same
Pharaoh's
time.
like, that's a work. That's so stupid. What a work. Poor guy's
Actually,
leg
what I
is
was
blown
saying
out.
was, wow, that was clever. They wrote it into the script. He's hurt. Wait a minute, Nakamura got pinned. What the F?
You were upset over
I
that.
was very upset.
Anyway, Owens Austin thoughts.
Oh, my God. What vindication to see you turn to me and go, Kevin Owens is great.
He is great.
You know, because
It's
it all started like five years ago. You're like, who's this fat mailman?
Yeah,
and I
that's
was
true.
like, would you please? This guy's awesome. He's Mr. Wrestling and Ring of Honor. Blah, 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 blah.
You were right.
So fantastic.
I
seeing
owe the
Kev-
Pharaoh a personal apology.
Oh, that's-
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are top notch.
Aren't they great? And they've been great for years. I'm just glad that they stayed loyal and got to play on the biggest stage of all and do some really memorable stuff this past weekend.
Do you-
Sami Zayn was entertaining, and Kevin Owens and Austin was amazing.
Well, all the AEW fans are butthurt that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn didn't go to AEW. Do you think Kevin Owens woke up in bed and said, did I make the right decision?
Oh, yeah, Kevin Owens he even said it before the match. He goes, this is a dream for me.
Of course.
He's like, this is an absolute dream. I'm working with one of my heroes, if not the greatest wrestler ever.
Put all that aside.
Yeah, put all that aside.
77,000
Of course,
fans.
of course.
Okay, again,
Of course.
the people are like, they're destroying wrestling.
No,
man.
they're not
Those
destroying
fans
Not at all.
had... It's an event.
Not at all.
They
It was.
loved
And you
it.
know what's funny, too? I feel like this is truly the first huge sporting event post-COVID to really where people got to have fun together
yeah.
without peering over their paranoid shoulders with what they've been reading or hearing or doing or not doing regarding vaccinations and shit. This was... who's leading the way as usual? Vince McMahon. He did this over 2 nights, too. 77,000 plus
Wait a
back-to-back
minute, the
nights.
pro wrestling experts are going to say those are Fugazi numbers.
You know
but,
what? Let's fugazi that it was 72 instead. I don't give a crap either way.
Right.
Over 70,000 people both nights. You could see how packed it was. all the way
140,000
to-
fans.
And this is the first year in the history of this business that the fiscal profits are over $1 billion. And guess who did that?
Wow.
So, and by the way, guess who was the face of that? Roman Reigns.
That's right.
Everybody, wake the F up. Wrestling, I now am officially declaring right here, is not in trouble. All we do is write and bullshit and worry too much about things that are so irrelevant. Over $1 billion this year from professional wrestling, and Vince McMahon just packed out the home of the Dallas Cowboys back-to-back
And
nights.
I want
Wrestling is doing
I want
fine,
you to reiterate
folks.
that Roman Reigns has carried the WWE
Yes.
for the last year and a half
Yes.
on his back for some of the biggest events.
Yep.
Period.
He has.
This guy
He has.
is one of the greatest.
He is
all-time
marking himself
champions.
into the very top of the top.
All right, but it is
He
This
is.
Week in Pro Wrestling. I need you to weigh in. One thing that I did not see live, and I don't know if you did,
No.
was FTR against the Briscoes.
Right.
Ring of Honor.
Have watched it, as you know.
Fans going crazy over it.
Fantastic
Thoughts,
match.
Pharaoh?
Fantastic match. Didn't get to absorb the whole thing blow by blow. Easy for me to say. Great match. Great match. My regret is that they couldn't do this on the biggest stage of them all, because that would have been fantastic. But I've told you about these teams before. FTR obviously couldn't play nice. Couldn't deal with it. Had to think about, wrestling first, this, that, and the other thing. Okay, congratulations. You just did one of the best tag team matches probably in the last 5 years. I'm not going to say ever. Stop. I'd have to go back and look at a million other things before I would say something as silly as that. But it is one of the best tag team matches, just from getting a decent glance at it over the last 5 years, involving two great teams. One couldn't play nice with Vince. That's why this wasn't at WrestleMania. And the other one is just so cutting edge, and I'm referring to Jay even more so than Mark Briscoe, that there's no way that they would be in the WWE under its current PG, thing.
I want to go back to your comment.
Great
though.
match, great teams, awesome physicality, fantastic.
Go back
Wonderful.
to the FTR comment. Why did they not translate over to WWE?
Honestly, I think that they did, but I think that they wanted more quicker, and they should have been more patient. You do know that Vince put the straps on them more than once. So it's like, guys, relax. My advice to them would have been relax. Just because it seems right now Vince is moving you in a direction you're not comfortable with. If Kevin Owens thought that way, he would have left years
right.
ago. Thank God he stayed.
That's right.
After he lost to Goldberg and everybody was in an
Yeah,
uproar.
right, sure.
Do you realize what he's done since then? Because he was patient and trusted Vince to do right. It paid off.
What a great comment.
You don't see enough of it. Be patient. I would have begged FDR to be patient.
All right, so before we cut out, quick question.
Yeah.
RKO, FTR.
Yeah.
Which one?
RKO, FTR. I want to see RKO.
Okay.
Did you hear the ovation for Randy Orton this weekend?
RKO the Briscoes.
I want to see RKO.
Okay. The Usos are FTR.
I want to see the Usos.
Usos are the Briscoes.
I want to see the Usos. The current Usos in with the tribal chief. That's what I want to see.
With that, that's This Week in Wrestling.
What? Yeah,
you heard it right here from our own pro wrestling expert. Because he's right.
And apparently millions agree with me. You've been watching This Week in Pro Wrestling. Until next week, when we entertain the millions once again. The millions!
This Friday. Right after this show, focus in. Because the head of the table will be sitting in that ring. And he might even announce that he's done because he's defeated everybody.
He's bored.
And then here comes, you heard it right here. We fucked up WrestleMania. Getting him for
doing this
but now
again?
I am making this bold prediction.
You're making it in front of the millions.
And millions.
Right. It doesn't matter what you're predicting.
There you go.
Wit.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, later.